With the CBS show that returned this January 9th, viewers were excited to see how characters like Alden Parker, played by Gary Cole, and the rest of the Washington team collaborated with characters like Sam Hanna from Los Angeles and Jane Tennant from NCIS, Hawaii. New details reveal that Knight and Palmer's relationship might be in jeopardy. Watch this video for full details. First up, NCIS, Los Angeles, gives Callan Sidney Bristow's alias backstory. The NCIS franchise excels at creating team leaders with troubled past, and Grisha Collin from NCIS Los Angeles is no exception. The first NCIS spin-off centers on the West Coast division of the NCIS, whose special agent in charge is Callan. Before season 13 revealed the truth about Callan's murky past, NCIS Los Angeles had been hinting at it for years. Callan's past was first mentioned in a covert NCIS pilot episode involving the recently retired Jethro Gibbs from that show. However, the disclosures from season 13 made his history appear more like a propaganda of a different show entirely. Jennifer Garner, most recently seen in The Adam Project on Netflix, featured as CIA double agent Sidney Bristow on ABC's Alias. The 5 seasons of the spy drama featured startling parallels in the backstories of Bristow and Collin. Given that their parents were connected to potentially harmful groups, Collin and Sidney were doomed to live painful lives as children. Like Sidney, Collin had an unstable upbringing. He moved around to several abusive foster families before Haiti Lang, who might exit the program in season 14, stepped in. The Comescu organized crime family targeted his family due to his grandfather's work for the CIA. The Comescu family murdered Collin's mom as retaliation for his grandfather. That tale resembles Sidney's erratic childhood nearly exactly. Sidney's mother was a KGB agent who was removed from her duty but did not pass away. She was not around for Sidney's entire life. It seems that ensuring the absence of maternal affection is one method by which television writers create troubled childhoods. Children who grow up in unstable environments require direction. Collin was fortunate that Hetty discovered him before getting into serious trouble, since, like other mentors in the NCIS universe, she helped him get started on the path to becoming the agent he is today. When he recruited Sidney for Project Christmas, Sidney's father, Jack Bristow, who is also a CIA double agent, became the trainer in her life. He created a covert operation to turn kids into sleeper operatives. Jack wanted to stop Sidney from being recruited by the KGB, unlike Hetty. While Hetty wanted to reroute Collins's errant course, he wanted to preserve Sidney's bright future. The minute distinctions between each character's backstory set them apart and keep them from seeming cliched or predictable. As they transitioned into their adult responsibilities, both characters grew into formidable forces. Similar to Sidney, Collin is a polyglot and is proficient in 10 languages, which makes him a valuable asset to law enforcement officials and anyone looking to order delicious meals in Los Angeles. Both of them have outstanding, comprehensive backgrounds filled with great accomplishments. Before joining NCIS, Collin worked for a number of 3-letter agencies, including the CIA. Sidney was a PhD candidate at UCLA, a Krav Maga master, and a lock-picking prodigy. However, there are always drawbacks. Both characters, loners, are a manifestation of the weight of their troubled childhood. The lonesome component of Collins's identity, or lack thereof, contributes to his appeal because it presents obstacles for him both as a person and an agent, adding complexity and fostering character growth. It's tough to overlook how similar Grisha Collins's background is to Sidney Bristow's, but that doesn't make him any less of a compelling character. While Collin loves laughing with his co-workers and even practicing magic, he is a spy driven by retaliation. Even while viewers now fully comprehend the background of his enigmatic persona, there is yet more to come. NCIS Los Angeles is ready to return for season 14 on CBS, so maybe Callan will get the opportunity to discover even more about the past that the show so masterfully crafted over the course of its first 13 seasons. Up next, NCIS's Agent Knight and Dr. Palmer's relationship. trivia, the agents of NCIS Season 20 have experienced several difficulties. Nick Torres was kidnapped at the beginning of his challenging season when the CBS drama decided to walk back the Season 19 cliffhanger. In addition, someone showed up to sabotage Dr. Palmer and Agent Knight's burgeoning romance in Season 20, Episode 4, Leave No Trace, which is one of the show's highlights. NCIS has had a few memorable, almost relationships over the years. Ziva David and Tony Donoso were in love, but their relationship didn't become official until they were both off camera. Then, Ellie Bishop decided to leave NCIS and leave Torres just as they were about to make it official. Jethro Gibbs had a thing for Jack Sloan, though he never admitted it to anyone. After Leave No Trace, Palmer and Knight are prepared to end their most recent nearly romance. Next up, why Palmer and Knight weren't a couple. NCIS lacked a romantic partnership for viewers to root for when Bishop broke up with Torres in Season 18. So the procedural had to establish one. When Knight wanted a +1 for a wedding in the middle of Season 19, Palmer and Knight were introduced in the show. She chose to invite Palmer because she could not find anyone else, and it was apparent that NCIS was experimenting with them as a relationship. The show continued when the combination received favorable feedback from viewers. Then, an entire episode was devoted to Palmer and Knight's romance. The two assisted in transferring a donor organ in Season 19, Episode 20, All or Nothing, but Jimmy was shot and the organ was almost taken. They remained close friends and almost fell in love even after that, but it never happened. Knight explained why she had been so afraid to date Palmer and Leave No Trace formally. The most destructive character in the new episode, rather than the cocaine-addled bear, was Special Agent Gage Winchester, Knight's ex-boyfriend. Although he and Knight had gone through agent training together, he was too conceited to date her. She broke up with him, and because of that, she was wary about dating Palmer. If their personal lives didn't work out, she didn't want it to affect their professional relationship. Also, Palmer and Knight are officially together on NCIS. Given that the murders occurred in national parks and that Winchester now worked for the Park Service, he was available to assist with the cases while simultaneously attempting to win back Knight. Palmer found that a little alarming due to the other man's physique and macho demeanor. The latter was evident when the medical examiner was even questioned and told that they would be fighting for Knight, but it didn't turn out to be much of a competition. Winchester had a break in the case, but went on it alone rather than sharing it with the NCIS team. He was almost murdered before discovering the bear, which showed that someone had been dropping cocaine into the parks by air. His selfishness once again defeated him. Knight said she had chosen Palmer over her naughty ex-boyfriend when she reprimanded Winchester. Palmer expressed regret to Knight for seeking to categorize their connection as the show came to a close. He claimed that making Knight happy was the only thing that really counted. It was a cute instance, demonstrating how well matched the two are. The Parker-led series now has that choice and should surely follow Palmer and Knight's romance wherever it leads them. In contrast, Gibbs' never date a co-worker rule prevented inter-office relationships from becoming much of an issue on NCIS. Up next, NCIS Season 20, Palmer and Knight's romance in jeopardy as new details emerge. In order to heighten the anticipation for the show, CBS has unveiled the first information about the Bridges episode of NCIS, which will run on January 16th. The first episode following the historic crossover event is teased to put one of the show's burgeoning and much-awaited romances to the test. Just as things seem to be going well, Jessica Knight, played by Katrina Law, and Jimmy Palmer, played by Brian Dietzen, might have to call it quits on their relationship. Sparks ignited as soon as Knight entered the picture in Season 19, and the pairing has solidified themselves as one of the drama's favorite couples. However, their romance stalled out because Jimmy hadn't moved since the coronavirus pandemic claimed the life of his other half, Brina, played by Michelle Pierce. But since then, the two have developed rapidly, standing up for one another when a situation threatens to endanger their lives. And they already had had their first kiss after Jimmy and Knight discussed their feelings at the conclusion of season 19. But in Bridges, things might get worse because it has implied that hurdles would come up. According to the CBS synopsis, Parker learns he was a victim of identity theft while looking into the strange death of a Navy ensign. As their bond deepens, Knight and Jimmy also encounter challenges in their relationship. What challenges can the two encounter, and could they spell the end for their relationship? Even though they are so different from one another in many respects, the two do connect over shared passion. However, given that the two had already leaped through a number of hoops to get where they were, Bridges may have to put up one obstacle too many. Following the January 9th broadcast of the three-way crossover event, fans may have a clear idea of what is in store for them. CBS has released a trailer along with a plot summary for the 3-hour installment to preview what will happen. It said NCIS agents from Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, and Hawaii find themselves jointly investigating his stunning suicide when they are all in D.C. to attend the retirement celebration of a beloved federal law enforcement training center professor. The teaser indicates that Jimmy will also not have an easy time with things in this episode. He and Tennant are seen in it being held prisoner with sacks over their head. They eventually escape the grasp of a new antagonistic, who Don Olivieri of Yellowstone portrays. But will there be fissures between Jimmy and Knight in the crossover, or will Bridges go too far? There you have it on why Palmer and Knight make a great couple, and the new NCIS Season 20 details show Palmer and Knight's romance in jeopardy. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.